planter's ready, but you know what? You have to start thinking about your bulbs now, which is something that shocks people every year. If you want those gorgeous colors in the spring, you got to plant your bulbs now. Yeah, now is the time to really be thinking about next spring, and next year's a big year. Next year, what makes it such a big year is it's going to be Canada's 150th birthday. Happy birthday, Canada! That's a big deal. Yes, we're young, but we're hip. And we're cool, and we're 150. Yeah, and you know, for 2017, it's going to be my mission to get everybody to plant a little bit of red and white. Oh, that's nice. You know? That's a good mission. And one of the ways that we can do that is with a brand new tulip variety. And this one right here, if you take a look at it, it's called Canadian Celebration, red and white tulip. But take a look. You see the maple leaf right there? Oh, isn't that nice? Look at that. Isn't that great? And so that is evolved from this one over here, which is Princess Irene. Okay. So Princess Irene, if you take a look, you can see the same maple leaf that's in there with the orange. And that's because Princess Irene is the Dutch princess that was actually born in Canada. Oh, so the Netherlands, what they did was they said, hey, thanks for letting us, you know, have our princess born in Canada, so they've developed that. So really, when it comes to the world of bulbs, all the genetics, all the breeding comes out of Holland. I'm going to stop you for a second because I know you're actually going to Holland next year, and I think that that's very cool. He's going to be leading garden tools in several different countries. Where are you going to be going to? So we're going to be doing UK, Paris, Belgium, and of course the Netherlands. And so it's a hosted garden tour. I've been to just for my producer, I'm going to go with him because we want to cover this story for Cityline. I think that is so cool. Well, and so people are so interested in all of these things. There's stories behind them, so it makes sense to really go there and educate people and learn. In some of the really the history of landscape architecture comes to Europe. So in terms of tulips too, if we want to learn right now, there's many different tulip varieties that you have out there, from everything that's an early season blooming, that's a bonica, that's a really short little variety that'd be right to the front of your bed, to even some of the fancy ones where you start to get to parrot tulips and doubles. So you get some beautiful, beautiful looking flowers. Oh, that's really pretty. And if you think back years ago to tulip mania, some of these bulbs back in history in the 17th century were traded for entire houses and estates. If you had a good looking tulip, let's say that is tulip mania. Say that in the 17th century, I had a tulip. That now? If I had a tulip that looked kind of like that in the 17th century, this would be worth thousands and thousands of dollars. So tulips, by the way, if you ever run out of onions, you can actually use your tulip as an onion. Right. So that bulb right there is a full storage facility. There's an entire plant inside that bulb. Right. Isn't that cool? So what you're going to do is take this height, you're going to plant it 3 times in depth in a nice sunny space, and presto, you're going to have beautiful tulips in spring. Do you plant it like this or like this? Good question. Pointy side up. Pointy side up. Pointy side up, which is always good. If you're ever concerned, if you have a bulb and you're like, well, which way is the pointy side? I don't know which you're kind of be stupid, but whatever. But you never know. If you plant the bulb sideways, if you plant it sideways, like kind of like us, if you go sideways, you're always going to go up. So if you plant it sideways, it'll always go up. Well, it's good to know because some of them maybe are not so obvious, right? Some bulbs are not so obvious out there, by the way. But if you have a problem, biggest thing with tulips is squirrels adore them. They see tulips, and those squirrels go up, and they're like, yeah, man, woo, I love it. I love it. So first thing is never leave these shells sitting around. Next thing is if you use pelletized chicken manure on the top, that'll discourage the squirrels from coming in. You can see we have blood and bone meal and bone meal. Bone meal over here, do never ever use that with tulips. Because bone meal's like, yo, I planted over here, come on over, eat my, and if you have a really bad squirrel problem, use daffodils. Because daffodils are poisonous to squirrels. So if you have a problem with tulips, go with daffodils. And you can see some of the varieties of daffodils. Probably the most common daffodil that you'll have out there is this variety here, which is King Alfred. Nice, big, tall one, perennialized, meaning comes back year after year. It's even deer resistant. So for some of our viewers that have problems with deer issues that live in certain areas, it's going to be fantastic. And you look at the colors, too, of daffodils. You can get everything from whites. You can get some different doubles. Okay, what's going to be cool? You said white is very big right now for fall for our planters. Do we know what's going to be big in 2017 in spring? What are we looking at? You know what? Next year is Havana, old Havana. So think of the pastels of Cuba. Oh, so that's what's cool. That's what's informing it's going to inform our gardens. It's going to, come on in here. Don't be shy. This one's cool, right? Put the short guy in the front. I love this. It's like a classic street photo. We haven't talked about what's coming soon is the tartan tulip.
Like Colin and Justin.
Being Scottish, you see, Jessica. That's what we need, the tartan
Patent
flower.
that and put your name on it. Who amongst you are the gardeners here?
We are.
Definitely not me.
Not me neither.
I do love to garden. I won't lie, I do love it.
Okay, so you'll be all over this.
Yeah.
I love the Canadian celebration. I think that is absolutely gorgeous. Happy birthday to Canada. It's going to be a big year next year for you and for the country. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thanks, guys. That was a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow on Cityline.